this morning. Thank you. Yeah, so our topic today is making the right decisions. And this is something that is very important for each and every one of us. And I'll just share a quote that I read that got me thinking about this topic. It says that let me just read it for us. Our life is the sum total of all the decisions that we make every day, and those decisions are determined by our priorities. Yeah, I'll just read it again. Our life is the sum total of all the decisions we make every day, and those decisions are determined by our priorities. Yeah, and I think basically trying to say that we are a sum total of the decisions that we've made in our past, and so I think it's a very important thing to be able to understand or know how to be able to make the right decisions. And yeah, I just want us to share our sort of like our decision making process. So maybe what are those things that are like pointers for each and every one of us that maybe align us to say this is a right decision, or this maybe is not a right decision. Yeah, so first of all, I would say that there are right decisions that are all right. Sorry guys. Apologies. We do have a client meeting happening right now, so I do have to step out. So Peter, if you could just help me, I'll be back. Yeah,
That's
sorry.
Yeah, so hi again, everyone, and good morning. Our topic is making the right decisions, and I think it's a good topic to talk about actually. And as Bob was saying and quoting, our life is a summary of our decisions, and it's important for us to make good decisions. I think because those the decisions are the ones that are the things that have making an impact on our life. And I think when you make a good decision, it means that you have learned from your past mistakes. It means that you're learning. So now your decisions are developing, and you're learning from your mistakes, and you're making some good decisions. And it's not only important in your personal life, but it's also important in your work life, and because if it can help you um, build your career better, and you get better results from whatever you're doing. So good decision making can help you achieve job satisfaction, I can say. So it's not only important for your life, but it's also important for your work life. So I think decision making is something that you have to work on. And for me, I think one of the thing that is really, really hard for me is making decisions. And it's like when you are supposed to make decisions, and you have to choose like between two ways, and it's the times that is hard. It's really hard for me, and I think it's something that you had. You have to be work on that since your childhood, I can say. So your parents have a lot of effects on that. That you've been raised in a way that you can make decisions and you can make up your mind. So because it's all about making up your mind and finally decide what is good for you. And sometimes you know what's the better thing to do, or what's the good decision that you need to make, but you cannot um, uh, make up your mind. You cannot explain to yourself that that's good for you and you have to do that. So it's something that you need to learn during the time, and sometimes it's hard. So I think, as I was saying, making good decisions comes from learning from your mistakes, sorry, and also your successes, learning from your failures and your success. And then, so it means that you have to just have some space for yourself and reflect on your mistakes, on your failures, and then you have much more time to focus on the decision that you need to make. So I think, yeah, it's important to review your day, like, I don't know, your performance, and consider why sometimes your decisions weren't that good enough. And then I think it can help you make a better decision. And also, I think for you to make decisions for yourself is to have this self-awareness and understand yourself and know that what is good for you and what is it that makes you happy in long term. And then I think you can make better decisions for yourself. And yeah, I think knowing yourself, knowing what you have to do and what you want to do in your life can really help you to make decisions. So for that, you need to have clear goals. You need to have a clear what you call it, purpose for your life, for yourself. And I think then you can, when you understand that, then you exactly know what you need to do, and so you can make good decisions that lead you to whatever your goal is. So yes, that's what I think about this topic. And I would like to hear your thoughts, your ideas on this. And if you have any tip for me or for us to make better decisions, I would like to hear that.
Thanks, Ebide. Thank you. Yeah, I think I'm sort of like you in that, like, sometimes decisions, um I think it's one of those things about becoming an adult where, you have to actually learn to make decisions and sort of like own up to the consequences. Because before, when you're younger, your parents literally make all the decisions for you, and you don't really have to worry about consequences and things like that. So I think it's one of those things that we just have to give attention to. And I would say, for me, when it comes to making the right decisions, I try to evaluate and really think about the outcome of the decision I'm going to take, especially if it's like major. There's some decisions that will really affect your life. I think it's important to really take time and think about the pros, the cons, think about the consequences. Yeah, Sepid was talking about making good decisions from, like, maybe mistakes. If you made let's say, a mistake in the past, you can be able to learn from it, so that if you're going to make like another decision that's similar to that, then you can be able to make the right decision this time around. So I really like to take time and evaluate and really the pros and the cons. And I would say also another thing is not making decisions in a hasty manner, like making decisions in like the spur of the moment, or like out of like intense emotions. Maybe you're very angry, or you're very happy, or you're very sad, and then you make a decision. And then, when the emotion fades away, it's like, okay, what was I thinking, or something like that. Yeah. So I think it's very important. They also say, make sure that you make decisions when you're sober-minded. Yeah. And being sober-minded does not necessarily only mean, maybe you're high on alcohol or something, you can also be high on excitement, or maybe you're angry. You just have to have a level, you just have to be level-headed. Yeah. So I think it's, don't make um decisions, hastily, very quickly, in the spur of the moment. Someone tells you something and you just make a decision out of that. And I would also say another thing would be, sometimes also try and do your research on certain things. I guess it also ties to not doing things hastily. These days we have a lot of like communities online where you can be able, even communities around you, try and consult from people. I think is also something else that has helped me. Again, especially if it's a like very, very important decisions that you have to make. I don't know how, it is, in the rest of the world, but I know that in most African countries, okay, at least here in Uganda, I know that most of the times before, let's say, somebody like gets married, it's not necessarily a decision you'll just make by yourself. Your parents have to approve. Yeah, so that's like, it's a very important decision, but it's not something you're going to just say, oh, I've chosen to take this path or something like that. You need people who have gone before you, or some elderly people, guardians or parents, and this is just an example, who will need to sort of like evaluate your decision, or like confirm your decision, and just to show you that, sometimes it's good to be able to consult. If you're making a business decision, you can always get a consultant, get someone who can be able um to advise you. And I think the third thing would be values, your values as a person. I think it's important to be able to make decisions that align with your goals or your values. I think it's important not to don't make decisions that sort of like, because I think our values, they make us who we are. Yeah. So, you don't make decisions that take you away from the person you're working to be, or from the values that you have. So I think it's important, think about the values, that you have, this job that I'm doing, or this business, or whatever decision that you're having to make, is it in alignment with my values as a person? Is it in alignment with my goals as a person? So yeah, it's just like how, if you want to get into a particular career, you'd have to make a decision to maybe take certain courses, or take certain jobs, so that you can be able to, go in that line. So yeah, I think being able to know your values. Yes, CPD talked about self-awareness and knowing your values, knowing your goals, and making decisions that, yeah, align with that. Yeah, so that's it from me. Anyone else can feel free to go ahead and share.
Hi, Linda. Hi, everyone. Grand Rising. For today's topic, like making the right decision, if we talk about this, I think it's really critical and very important to make right decisions, both in our like professional and personal lives. From what I believe, like decision making is kind of a fundamental skill, which I think every human have. And like what we make, like whatever we make, like whatever kind of decisions we make, it will impact our life like in every aspect of like whether it is our career, our or overall well-being, or our relationship with other people around us. So yes, like making right decisions is really important in that aspect of we talk about that. So like if we can look about like think about like we are from the moment we are waking up in the morning, we are making decisions of every kind, like what I'm gonna wear today, what I'm gonna eat today, or what kind of work, or like what I have to achieve today. Like we are making decisions in like every point of our lifetime. So so it's really important we are taking the right decisions, because like those decisions will either make your life or like really good or like really balanced, or if you are taking wrong decisions, that can make your life miserable. Like if you are not like take a decision, okay, I will not exercise today, or I will not eat healthy today. So you won't be feel so there will be consequences of that decision. Like you won't be feeling energetic whole day. You will feel sluggish. You might feel pain somewhere in your body, or you will not feel that much energetic, or you will not even be productive. So that's how we can see, like, whatever decision we are making, there will be consequences of that thing. So whenever we are making decisions, we should take into consideration, like, what would be the consequences of that thing. So yes, and also, like, we are making right decisions, whether it's in our personal life or professional life, it will impact our, like, motivation, or like how we are managing our tasks, like our effective efficiency and productivity as well. And like, if we take example of our workplace, like how making the right decision would affect us. Like if we are thinking about, like, how should I say, like, okay, like, we take example of cost management. Like if a company is not making right decisions at right time, like how they can manage their cost or cut down costs, like they are making some unnecessary extra expenditure, those kind of things. So they might feel like it's not affecting them much at this point of time. But if we take that into consideration in a long-term point of view, that will cause them, like, at the year end, they might have like excessive cost, they might into run into financial difficulties, that kind of thing. So that shows, like, how having, like, making right decisions is really important in our life, and how that can affect our, like, affect our quality of our life we are living. So yes, I think, and if we make right decisions and like, no, act on that, like making decisions and acting on them is really important if we want to like give those decisions, like what should I say, like make those decisions, achieve them, like instead of like just making decisions. Okay, you are just thinking, okay, I will do this thing, but if you are not acting on them, so even if you are like made a right decision or good decision, if you are not acting on them, it won't be like useful or very efficient. So yeah, like making right decisions is important, but it's also important we are taking action on them. Yeah, that's what I wanted to contribute. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Ritika. Yeah, we have to make decisions and actually, take the right actions. And you also mentioned something about, our decisions also affecting the quality of life that we lead. That's also very important to note. Thank you. Thank you, Ritika. Anyone else can feel free to go ahead and share.
Hello, good morning, and thank you very much for the topic, Linda, and for the contributors to the topic. Thank you very much. My own take on this is making the right decision. There are many decisions we make in life, like somebody mentioned, the moment you wake up, straight away you are making decisions of what you are going maybe to wear and what time maybe you really want to get out of bed and that sort of thing. But then there are, I think, different sorts of decisions. Some are much simple, daily, others are much bigger, which are likely to have consequences in case because if you decide to wear a white shirt or a brown shirt, maybe that's okay. Nobody's really going to be bothered. But then a decision you are going to make concerning, I don't know, when to do a presentation to a client, maybe that's a different one. And you've got to prepare for it. So you really need to understand the problem at hand, the issue at hand. You need to define it. You need to understand exactly what the issue is before you can make a decision. So you really need to gather information. Say if you are dealing with a client and you have an issue with them, you've got to have the evidence. You have to have the relevant data to present to your client. So it's really important in making decisions to be conversant with the topic you are to discuss or the information you need to present, because you look at it from the other point of view, from the other person or from the other party. What do they really want from me? So before I make this decision, Do I have enough evidence? Do I have enough data to give out? What if they ask this sort of question? What am I going to answer? That kind of thing. And then you've got to have different alternatives. If they don't like that, what should I give them? So if you have enough alternatives, then it's easier for you to explain because you have a wide span of explanation depending on the issue at hand. Then you've got to, like somebody said, you've got to take action. Yeah. Say if you are a manager or a senior person or you lead a team here, you've got to make that decision to assign, to delegate work to people to help you out. But then you've got to delegate to the right people, or you've got to explain to the people exactly what you want. That's another big decision as well. You're assigning something to somebody, and once they give you back whatever the result they have, you've got to proceed with it. You've got to present it somewhere. So they must know exactly what they're doing. You must explain to them, and they should be honest enough to tell you whether they understand, whether what you request them is what they understand they are going to do and they are going to present to you. And then you've got to reflect on the outcome. So whatever result you get from the decision you make, you've got to reflect on the outcome and maybe try to improve on it or try to find other ways of dealing with it. Because like I said, there are different sorts of problems. Then the big one for me is to consider the relationship, because there are certain things maybe which you can do without. You don't need to make a decision on anything, on everything. Certain things are like, if you're not happy with something or happy with somebody, maybe trying to discuss it is going to even cause more trouble. But maybe discussing it is going to resolve the issue. So you've got to consider the relationship. You don't want to damage the relationship. For some of you who are in management, when you're managing people, it's such a challenging environment that different people come with different ideas. And like I said, different things, I mean, you just need to listen and move on. Because if you try to kind of discuss it widely, maybe you are making the situation worse. You've got to consider the other person's point of view before you make a decision. Otherwise, if you don't really think from what the other person is thinking, then maybe what you are discussing or what you want to come up to, whatever decision you are going to come up to, might be the wrong decision. So it doesn't have to be your way only. It has to be the other person's way as well. So you've got to get the balance between the two. Yeah, that's how I look at making the right decision. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you. Thank you, Robert. Yeah, you mentioned something important that, for certain decisions, you're not the only stakeholder, there are other people who are involved and they have to be considered as well. Thank you. Anyone else? One last person before we close? One last person and then we close our meeting.
Good morning, all. Thank you, Linda, for the topic. I would like to add something briefly about it. How to make the right choices. Sometimes we use our instincts to make the right decisions about something. Yeah, your personal judgment over something can lead you to the right choice. If you are biased about something, you are sometimes pulled back, or you do not make the right choice there and then. And also sometimes our confidence over something can lead us to make either a right decision or a bad decision. When you're overconfident about something, you can easily fall into a pitfall. Sometimes actually even the people who know you, if you're making a decision over something and someone wants to give a trap, they use your knowledge or they use your confidence over something so that they can easily trap you into making a decision over something. Yeah, that is all I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia, for sharing. Yeah, you actually mentioned something that is actually a very big one when it comes to making decisions, and I think we should not ignore, that we said instinct. Some people will call it something different, we call it a gut feeling or something like that. Yeah, so I think it's always important to be able to check with that gut feeling and see how you feel about certain decisions, before you make them. And that gut feeling can come through I don't know, it can come through different like sources of inspiration. I was reading an article yesterday about a famous very, very successful, world-renowned singer, musician, and they were talking about their success. And this was something very interesting, but they were being asked, if they knew that when they ventured, on the path, let's say, to start singing, if they knew that they would, be this successful. And this lady said that, that she knew, that she had that gut feeling. She actually said that she when she was in high school, that she had a dream that she was going to be a renowned singer. And she made a decision. Of course, this is like one of those life-changing decisions, but she made a decision, not to go to college, yeah, and go straight away to pursue music. And today she's so successful. So yeah, I think we shouldn't ignore that aspect of the instinct and that gut feeling, because sometimes it does help us to also make good decisions. Yeah, so thank you, Sylvia. Thank you, everyone, for sharing this morning, and have a wonderful day today. And just a reminder about our training this afternoon at midday. Please make sure you take some time and attend. And if you know anyone who would benefit from this training, anyone doing accounting degree, ACCA, or pursuing something similar, yeah, you can always let them know about our training. Yeah, otherwise, have a lovely day, guys.
Yeah. Thank you, Linda.